My name is Adad Hanna. I still kind of say that I'm between Montreal and Vancouver because I end up doing projects in both and kind of working in both. It's funny because I make a lot of new media art in terms of video, but I'm reluctant about lights and interactive stuff in that sense. I guess for me, I like interactive, like these stone benches where you sit down and can talk to other people maybe. But I've seen too many things where it's like broken and it doesn't get fixed for 6 months. And I guess with the public art stuff, I want it to be really robust. Yeah, for me, the interactions between people and the art and people and each other in relation to the art. And so when people are walking back and forth and, like you said, there's teens hanging out by it and somebody saying, hey, did you notice this? Or that, to me, that's kind of interesting, and that's kind of my goal is to create that, yeah. So this is a new building in Quarry Park. And it's built by the city, but it'll be run by the YMCA. Is that correct? Yeah. And it's it's a community center. And one of the goals of a community center is to be useful to the community and to be a kind of meeting place for the community. So I've come up with these two zigzag shapes. So here you see there's a zigzag, and there you see there's a zigzag. And so this is like a kind of the idea was a kind of cross section of the river. So kind of the two river banks. And then turned, and also this kind of zigzag from because it's a YMCA. This kind of like when you're on the treadmill and you have this it's showing you the speed you're going, or like warm up and cool down, that kind of thing. Now these zigzag shapes are kind of boring because they're solid and they get in the way, and it'll be hard to move from here to here, and there will be lots of sight lines blocked. So I want to perforate that wall. I want there to be lots of holes in it. So what we're going to do today is take these zigzags and cut them up and put holes in them. Now we can't put too many holes in them that they fall apart, but we want to put enough holes in them so that people can walk through it from one side to another. So somebody could sit, maybe there's stairs or seating. So we want to take this large object. It's going to be made out of steel. It's going to be made out of Corten steel, which is, here's a sample. Why don't you come grab it and you can pass it around if you want. Now, Corten steel has special properties. And what happens is, when that piece of steel is outside, it'll go bright orange really quickly. And then as it gets older, it'll develop, what do you call this stuff, this orangey brown stuff? Rust. But normally, now everybody knows that rust and corrosion can put a hole in your car, for instance, or something, right? But Corten steel has a special formula, and as it gets to here, it will stop rusting, and it creates, the rust actually acts as a protective layer with Corten steel, and so it kind of stops rusting, and the rust actually protects the metal. And it should stay like this forever. And it was developed for building bridges, because often bridges are difficult to reach certain points, so it's difficult to keep repainting and repainting and repainting. And also they're exposed to humidity and salt water. So it's a perfect material to build something that you really want to last. So we'll put you in groups, and then you can kind of work 2 and 2 on them, or if you want, you can work all 4 together on both of them, but you'll have a pair of them. And I think here you see there's going to be 2 of these. And so you get a sense of scale. You will be about this tall, right? Yeah. You're about this tall. So up here is 15 feet tall. And it's actually going to carry on a little bit lower, but we've just given you a kind of a section of it. But you can think about the fact that there's 2 of them. And so you could have a relationship between the 2 halves. Similar shapes, same shapes in different places, however you want to think about it. And also, what Tegan did here, and what is something that we want to do as well, is you see this piece here was cut out from here? Yeah? So this was cut out, but then it goes on the ground and becomes a bench. So if you think about, we don't want to cut out pieces and then throw them out. We want to cut out the pieces and then reuse them. So they can be this triangle here, Tegan welded on here. So you can weld it on somewhere else. This cutout here, she bent over, and then it becomes a bench. So you can think about the kind of positive and negative space and kind of using the pieces of material that you cut off. This light here can go quite bright. And the point of this is you can do quite interesting things with shadows. So you can put this here and we can calculate kind of what the shadows might look like, because that's another interesting thing that will happen when we do cutouts. And something to keep in mind is this will be about 1/2 or 3/4 inch steel. So it's very, very strong. So let's say you have a piece like this and it's bent over. That's no problem to be a bench. Someone can sit on there. It's not going to bend under their weight. With public art, it really, like, whatever I end up doing is going to be there. It's going to be in the public collection of the city, and it'll, well, maybe not forever, it's going to be there for a long time. So it makes sense to not just make something and say, here you go, here it is. Like, it makes sense to do something like this.